everyone and welcome to the London MUMS Fitness 14-day challenge. So day 11 we've got mobility. Okay, so it's our rest day, or you can do some low intensity steady state work as well. But I'm just going to show you a few little exercises that are great to do as a warm up or as a cool down, or just on a day that you just feel like a bit of stretching. Okay, so we're just going to twist our body either side, taking our head with you. Control that breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, and touching down to the toes, and opening up, and coming down, and opening up. Big stretch, one more, and open up. Fantastic. Right, we're going to come down into a lunge position. So 1 foot forward, one knee on the floor. We're just going to be leaning forward into our lunge, really to get into that hip flexor, and coming back to feel a nice stretch down our hamstring. And leaning forward as far as you can into that hip flexor, and coming back, heel up and forward. Exhale, inhale back, and exhale as we get into our stretch. One more forward, and taking it back, and switch legs. Other foot forward, and once again we're gradually getting into that nice deep hip flexor, and exhale, coming back. Feel a good stretch down that hamstring, and forward, and taking it back, and coming forward again. So we're keeping our body moving, and this will really help our recovery and just to help you train all year round by stretching out that body and keeping up your mobility and your flexibility and working on it each day and throughout training sessions. Forward, one more, and taking it back. Right, coming onto our knees. So we're coming up into a high plank. We're going to get into a mountain climber. So taking one foot as close to the hand as possible, and dropping that back knee, and just really getting more into that hip flexor, and just pushing out on that knee. Really push into it, and take it back to the centre, and push it out some more, and back to the centre. So we're keeping things dynamic, but we're never pulsing in any of these moves. We're just applying gentle pressure, listening to our body and breathing into each one. And switch legs. So once again, drop that back leg, take your hand down, and pushing out on that knee, and coming back to the centre, and pushing out, and back to the centre. Once again, no pulsing, just exhale as we push out. Really getting into that hip flexor, and coming back. So now we're going to get into a high downward dog. I'm just going to be walking out like calves. Okay, so this should feel really, really nice. Down the back of those legs. Let that head drop in between your arms. Walking it out, and just push both heels down to the floor. Push those hips to the sky, get a deeper stretch. And walking out again. Each time you should feel those heels be able to get that a little bit closer to the floor. This is particularly good if you're a heel wearer as well. And once again, exhale, push the hips to the sky, push the heels down to the floor, and gently coming into it. Right, we're now going to be coming up to standing into a quad stretch. So if you want to hold on to something, then do. Taking one foot up, both knees touching, push that hip forward for a deeper stretch, and keep that chest up, looking forward. Feels good. And switch legs. Once again, both knees touching, push that hip forward for a deeper stretch. Once again, no pulsing, just breathing through it, looking forward, standing tall and proud. Really good. And gently release, shake it up. Right, coming down to the floor. We're going to work on stretch out our glutes. So both legs out in front of you, taking one foot across the knee, and we're just going to be twisting. Take the opposite elbow onto that knee and feel a nice glute stretch, and also into your spine as well, looking around as far as you can go. And exhale, apply a little bit more pressure, twist a little bit more. Should feel nice on the glute and on the spine. Hold it for a few more seconds. And release. Switch legs, other leg across, arm up, pushing that knee and gently applying pressure round. Really good. Exhale, turning. Hold it for a few more seconds. Really get into that glute. And release, shake it off. Right, now sitting up nice and tall, leaning forward to touch those toes as much as you can. And take the arms up, over, and stretch a little bit more. Holding it, once again no pulsing. And once again take it up, round, and touch those toes a little bit further. Fantastic. Now opening out into a butterfly position, butterfly pose, so both feet together and just sitting up nice and tall, bringing those legs in and those heels in as close as you can, just sitting up tall. No rocking here, just hold this position. Once again, we're getting to these hip flexors and also working on our inner thighs as well. Sitting up nice and tall, holding those legs, and inhale. Exhale, try and bring those heels a little bit closer to you. So each time you do this, you'll gradually see your flexibility and your mobility get better and better. So that's why it's great to work on this, especially when we do our high intensity training. You know, we do apply a bit of pressure and impact to the joints, so it's so important to ease them through each of these movements as well. Really good, holding it here and taking it out, stretching it out, shake it off a little bit, and then when we come into a little ball, just holding, tucking everything nice and tight. Big squeeze, give your legs a good old hug, and open up, big stretch. It should feel really good. And hug those legs again, big hug, big squeeze, and open out, big stretch. Feel like you're being pulled from your hands and your feet in opposite directions. And one more, in tight, and open out. And rest at that, coming over on to your front and hang down into child's pose. Arms forward, head down, and breathe. Take your hands over to one side, stretching out the sides. And take it to the other side. Great work. And back to the centre. And slowly walk those hands up. And finally into our pigeon pose. Take one knee forward, the other one back, and just stretching into that side glute and into your IT band a little bit even more. If you want to get a deeper stretching, come down to your elbows and just let it rest. Holding it. Breathing into it. Feels good. Hold it for 2, 1, and coming up. Switch legs, other one forward. And that back leg is straight. And you get straight down low into it if that's comfortable. So remember, all of these mobility, it's so important. It's a bit like, you know, when we have a bath. Just relaxes the muscles. Just relaxes the muscles. Stretches them, looking after our whole body, allowing us to train, progress to a stronger version of ourselves. Taking back, coming back, take the hands walking, feet walking to the hands, slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae coming up, gently so you don't feel too dizzy. Big stretch up tall, and you are done. Thank you so much for joining today, and I'll see you tomorrow for some more excitement.